ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ. So, all together celebrating the department. Today's gathering brings together officers past and present, family and friends of officers, all united by a shared commitment to integrity and public service. It is an afternoon dedicated to honoring intellectual pursuit, institutional legacy, and individual courage, values that define not only public service but the very spirit of Samprabha: inspire, innovate, impact. The spirit of public service shines through inspiring individual efforts that impact collective excellence. This afternoon is about recognizing and saluting such richly deserving individual efforts. Let us now commence the proceedings with an invocation, a prayer for light, wisdom, and the enduring strength to serve with honesty and humility. I request Tanushree to invoke the divinity to grace this occasion.
गणनाथ परिपूर्ण ओंकारने, गणनाथ परिपूर्ण ओंकारने, सदमूल गुण सांद्र रींकारने, सदमूल गुण सांद्र रींकारने, गणनाथ परिपूर्ण ओंकारने, निगम निरंतरा, निगम निरंतरा, त्रिपुरांतकाला, निगम निरंतरा, त्रिपुरांतकाला, निगम निरंतरा, त्रिपुरांतकाला, करुणारसा पूर्ण ओंकारने, करुणारसा पूर्ण ओंकारने, गणनाथ परिपूर्ण ओंकारने, भवभय परिहार परमेशने, भवभय परिहार परमेशने, परदैव परमात्मा जगपालने, परदैव परमात्मा जगपालने, धनुज विबंधना, धनुज विबंधना, त्रिपुरांतकाला, धनुज विबंधना, त्रिपुरांतकाला, धनुज विबंधना, त्रिपुरांतकाला, करुणारसा पूर्ण ओंकारने, करुणारसा पूर्ण ओंकारने, गणनाथ परिपूर्ण ओंकारने, सदमूल गुण सांद्र रींकारने, गणनाथ परिपूर्ण ओंकारने,
Join in lighting the ceremonial lamp in the spirit of Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. As the dignitaries light the lamp, we present to you the Samprabha anthem, celebrating the fraternity and spirit of service that unites the Customs and GST family. Please, sir.
ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂತ್ರ ಏಳಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೂತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹಿತವೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಧ್ಯೇಯ
ಸಂಘಟನೆಯ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಗತಿಯ ಪಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವೈಕ್ಯತೆಯ ಮೆರೆಯಲೆಮ್ಮ ಭವ್ಯ ಸಂಘ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ
ಸಂಘಟನೆಯ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಗತಿಯ ಪಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವೈಕ್ಯತೆಯ ಮೆರೆಯಲೆಮ್ಮ ಭವ್ಯ ಸಂಘ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ
ಬೆಳೆಯಲೆಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ ಬೆಳಗಲೆಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ
ಬೆಳಗಲೆಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ ಬೆಳಗಲೆಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ
ಒಳಿತಾಗಲಿ ನಾಡಿಗೆ ಒಳಿತಾಗಲಿ ಜನತೆಗೆ ಒಳಿತಾಗಲಿ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ ಸಂಘಕ್ಕೆ
ಒಳಿತಾಗಲಿ ನಾಡಿಗೆ ಒಳಿತಾಗಲಿ ಜನತೆಗೆ ಒಳಿತಾಗಲಿ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ ಸಂಘಕ್ಕೆ
ಸಂಪ್ರಭ ಸಂಘಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ ಸಂಘಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಪ್ರಭ ಸಂಘಕ್ಕೆ.
Thank you, everyone. I now take the pleasure of inviting our esteemed dignitaries to the dais. I request Sri G. Narayan Swami sir, the President of Samprabha, to kindly accompany the dignitaries onto the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome on stage a galaxy of inspiring leaders from public service here. Our chief guest for the afternoon, Dr. M. A. Salim sir, IPS, Director General and Inspector General of Police, Karnataka State. Our guests of honor, Shri Najib Shah sir, IRS retired, former chairman CBIC. Shri B.V. Kumar sir, IRS retired, former member CBIC. Shri Ashish Chandan sir, IRS Chief Commissioner Customs Bengaluru Zone. And our special guest for the afternoon, Shri Gustavo Fernandez sir, former customs officer and the man whose courageous career has been the subject of the biopic Gustavo that will be screened this afternoon. Thank you. It is said that service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy on earth. Sri G. Narayan Swami sir, the President of Samprabha, is a living epitome of the spirit of public service. Sir served in the Government of India for over 3 decades in a career studded with significant highlights. Sir joined the Indian Revenue Service in 1992 after graduating with a MSc from the Mysore University. He served in various formations of the department before embarking on a very eventful tenure in the Cabinet Secretariat and RAW, where his work in the African continent played a pivotal role in India's relations with African countries, especially Maldives, Kenya, Somalia, and Eritrea. In fact, his work on strengthening community initiatives in Maldives specially earned him appreciation from the then President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Sir was instrumental in leading the COVID-19 Sir led the conceptualization, design and bringing to life in record time the monumental National Academy of Indirect Taxes and Narcotics on a 500-acre campus at Palestine. This project was monitored closely by the Honorable Finance Minister and was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister in January 2024. Post-retirement, Sir continues to be engaged in public service on a larger canvas, amidst which he passionately leads Samprabha as its founding president. With this brief introduction, I now invite Sri G. Narayan Swami, the President of Samprabha, to deliver the welcome address. Please, sir.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good evening to all of you. Highly respected DG and IGP, Karnataka State, Dr. Abdullah Salim, the chief guest of this evening. The guests of honor, Mr. Najib Shah sir, the former chairman CBIC, former B.V. Kumar sir, Star of today, Mr. Kosovo Fernandez, the legendary customs officers. Our very senior officers who have taken out time and made it a point to attend this function. Mr. S.K. Chaudhary sir, Mr. Ramesh Ram sir, Sundaraman sir, then Vasudev sir, Manivacharam sir, then Shankar Bhatt, and my colleague in DRI, Mr. Arvind, and many other officers who have come here and attended. I would like to extend warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Samprabha, on behalf of Customs and GST Department, and on behalf of all my colleagues in the department. This is an honor for me to welcome all of you to this very important gathering. I am very, very happy today that I got an opportunity to invite my own batchmate, Dr. Abdullah Salim, who is highly respected. He says, as IPS officer, he is entering this building for the first time. I regret that I didn't summon him earlier. So it is a proud moment for me. Dr. Salim, you are here as our guest. The entire program was conceptualized after our AGM in the morning because I came to know that Mr. B.V. Kumar sir has written wonderful books, 2 books, and he was not very keen to release it in formal manner, but I insisted that sir, let us do it under Samprabha, so that Samprabha also can get an opportunity to receive this kind of big gathering, and particularly our very senior officers, so that they can see and appreciate the work being done by Samprabha. I am really grateful to B.V. Kumar sir for accepting that and giving this opportunity. At the same time, we have also other two books to be released, which is written by Mr. Kodan Ram, who is also an executive committee member. Then this program also goes to be an occasion where we wanted to honor our legendary customs officers, Mr. Kosovo Fernandez, on the biopic of him. A popular movie has been made, which is there in Netflix, and many of you would have watched. So this is the purpose of this particular function. In fact, today morning we had AGM, the first AGM of Samprabha. I'd like to mention very briefly about Samprabha, because even though we are batchmates and friends, we didn't have much time to talk about these things, and some of you may be new to the entire system. We in 2020 early, we had to take some initiatives to protect ourselves. Then Principal Chief Commissioner was Mr. D.P. Nagendra Kumar sir. He graced the occasion in the morning as our first AGM chief guest. One day he called me and said, can we do something for the migrant workers who have been really stranded and they don't have food and medicine and all that. Then from there we started working and formed Karnataka Zonal Response Team, or Karnataka Zonal COVID Response Team. So we gathered all the volunteers, and there was a total support from each and everyone, irrespective of the rank. Only thing is, we never stopped in between. First wave of COVID and second wave of COVID. Even in between, we started working and did a lot of work relating to Mask India, Protect India program, giving the dry ration to all the category of people. So as a result, we were able to respond quickly in the second wave of COVID and minimize the casualties in our department in Karnataka. We formed something called D3, that the dozen dedicated doctors, our own IRS officers. We had morale boosting team where a commissioner will call up an inspector, a superintendent, and inquire about his well-being. This was a very emotional moment we went through, and we feel we did well, and the board came to know about this work, and they wanted us to give them a template. Based on that, a policy called Aswasan was issued. That policy was implemented in our department throughout India, and there was a good response. After COVID was over, all of us, including my friends and all, we were wondering what to be done because we have generated so much of goodwill and camaraderie. Then we thought, let us make a positive organization to bring all the department people on one platform, that is how we thought of Customs and GST, Sports, Cultural and Welfare Association. Then I wanted to give a very catchy name, very meaningful name. Then we sought the suggestion from various our members. Mr. Bharatraj was able to come up with a name called Samprabha. It has got a lot of meaning. Samruddhi, Pragati, Bhavaikate, things like that, various things. And he also wrote an anthem for it, and we got it. Lyrics and music were made. Every program we start with this particular song. The purpose of this Samprabha is to create a platform for the entire department and work for outsiders too. Today we have honored many sports legends, and even our contingent persons, children have achieved few things. They have become CA, they are doing PhD, even those people were honored today morning. I am happy and grateful to all my colleagues who have been working very hard to put a foundation for this organization. Particularly, I must mention that Vijay Bellari and team have been working very hard for a very, very long time. Even though credit comes to me, they keep telling my name, but they are the ones who are working, and I'm grateful to all the dignitaries on the stage who have taken out time and come here. Let us listen to them more than me. And thank you all. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now move to one significant part of this event, the release of books authored by members of the Customs and GST fraternity, the Samprabha family. Books are more than printed words. They are instruments of continuity between experience and reflection, between what a generation has lived and what it chooses to record for those who will serve after it. This afternoon, we gather not merely to unveil 4 publications, but to reaffirm the intellectual foundations of the department. Its belief that enforcement must be guided by knowledge, that power must rest on principles, and that policy must draw from lived realities of the service. Each of the volumes being released today represents a distinct facet of this continuum, from the hidden world of financial crime to the valorous pursuit of justice by the officers to the complex architecture of contemporary tax reform. Together, they reflect a lifetime of institutional learning, the kind of reflective documentation that transforms experience into wisdom and wisdom into enduring public value. The first book to be released this afternoon is Shadow Economies, The Hidden Billions, Causes, Consequences and Policy Initiatives, authored by Sri B.V. Kumar sir. Sir has drawn from his experience as former member CBIC, former DG DRI, DG NCB, DG Economic Intelligence Bureau. With his rich experience, in the book Sir confronts the hidden network of illicit wealth that distorts governance and corrodes public trust. He examines how funds generated through corruption, trafficking, cybercrime and terror financing circulate within global markets, disguised as legitimate enterprise. With analytical depth and policy relevance, the book challenges us to confront the uncomfortable truth that the health of an economy is measured not only by what it produces, but by what it permits to remain unseen. May I request our Chief Guest, Dr. M.A. Salim, to release the book Shadow Economies, The Hidden Billions, authored by Sri B.V. Kumar. I request all the dignitaries to please join in. The second book that we are releasing today is DRI and the Dons, The Untold Stories, now in its revised second edition, authored by B.V. Kumar sir. This book revisits some of the most daring and consequential enforcement operations in India's post-independence history. It provides an insight into the challenges faced and the courage, discipline and investigative acumen exhibited by officers of the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence in the face of such challenges as they stood at the front lines of the nation's battle against organized smuggling. Beyond the thrill of enforcement, the book captures moral tension and human resolve. The next set of books that we are releasing today, first one, Moving Towards Citizen-Centric GST Laws in India, authored by our very own Sri M.G. Kodandram sir, an active member of Samprabha. He has served the department for a long term, a very popular teacher at NASIM. He has served as the member state GST committee, Federation of FKCCI. The final book that we are releasing today is the new Next Generation GST Reforms 2.0 with rates and exemptions, again authored by Sri M.G. Kodandram. This book dissects the architecture of GST not as mere physical reform but as a living experiment with its changes and accommodation to the needs of the economy. From shadow economies to structured transparency, the books released just now tie together beautifully to reflect the diverse yet important role of tax administration in ensuring the fiscal health of the nation, a fine balance between enforcement and facilitation as the moral soul and guiding arc of the economy. Thank you everyone. Continuing with the spirit of guarding the economic frontiers of the nation, ladies and gentlemen, we now come to one of the most emotionally stirring moments of today's event. The felicitation of Sri Gustavo Fernandez, a name synonymous with courage, integrity and sacrifice in the annals of India's customs history. Allow me to introduce the man we honor today, hopefully without spoilers for the movie watching experience that awaits us. Sri Tony da Gustavo Fernandez served as a preventive officer with Goa Customs from 1979. His fearless stance against smuggling and his unshakable integrity captured national attention after a daring 1991 operation in Goa. During a car chase with smugglers linked to a major gold racket, he was forced to fire in self-defense under perilous circumstances. The pursuit was fraught with risk and led to injuries and ultimately to the arrest of the smugglers. That moment of crisis, handled with professional composure, led to arrest and drew the spotlight to his exemplary sense of duty. In recognition of his bravery, he was conferred with the President's Award for Bravery in 1986. Over the years, his life and struggles have become inspirational to many officers in the service. Today's screening of the film Gustavo seeks to bring his story to wider resonance. At this juncture, I request the dignitaries to kindly felicitate Shri Gustavo Fernandez. Please. Thank you all. Abigail Adams famously wrote that it is not in the still calm of life that great characters are formed. It is in the storm of chaotic circumstances that characters are forged and shined through. Ladies and gentlemen, shining through this afternoon is Sri Gustavo Fernandez, who in the face of crisis stuck to integrity and perseverance. May I now invite Sri Fernandez to share his reflections, the lived wisdom of a life of courage. Please, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I am Costa Fernandez, ex-preventive officers, retired as the Assistant Commissioner of Customs. Our today's chief guest, Dr. Abdul Salim, sir, guest of honor, Najib Shah, and book on DRI and the Dawn's second part, written by B. Kumar sir, IRS, retired CBIC member, and Ashish Chandan, IRS, Chief Commissioner of Customs, Bangalore, Mrs. Kajal Singh, IRS, Chief Commissioner, Indirect Taxes, Bangalore, and all my ex-commissioners and chief commissioners, and to my colleagues. This is a long story actually. I am very proud about my invitations, Bangalore Commissionerate, and I feel actually really proud standing before you people. Our organization is a very vast, and this organization makes the officers of our caliber to face these challenges and make the country proud. And in my struggle actually, I was a very good sportsman. I represented Bombay University. I was Bombay University captain also. And I was also Indian University captain combined, which was going for the world meets football tournament. And I was actually, without any interview, I was joined as a distinct sportsman to the Goa clubs. And I was very happy to do that because I love the sports. And in that I was NCC also, a senior under officer, as I have done 8 years in NCC as a short service commission. And I was actually given a job of second lieutenant in the military. But my daddy has refused it, and this told them to send him back because I was in the camp, and then 70 war was going on with the Pakistan, 71 war. And I have given my name, I am ready for going on the border. That time my daddy was send a message, send him back, just like that he is making the listing. But I was fully for my country. I wanted to fight for my country. And this opportunity, when sports quota vacancy came in Goa Commissariat, and my name was selected. That time actually I was earning 850 basic in my sports career, and this was 425. But I wanted to serve the nation, that's why I had taken this job. During my 5 years tenure only in the department, I was, one incident I tell you first only this thing, when I joined, I was under training. And the information came that some landing is taking place from the ship. And I was under training during that time, the RNI team has gone to rummage another ship and no staff was there. So the one Superintendent Vijayan was said, that training officer is also there, take him and go. So all gate officer and myself, we sat on the lodge and went for the rummaging the ship. And we were that time actually, I was in uniform because under training. And they saw that this thing, our launch is coming to the ship. They started throwing the boxes in the ship. I was a very good swimmer. I jumped and retrieved the boxes. And from that day, my posting was straight to, training was over, and my posting was in the RNI. And from that time, I said, I will do something for the nation. I got the chance now. I have to develop my informers. And within 5 years, I made my network of informers. But my senior colleagues, they didn't like me because I was straightforward. I never compromised in anything. I not joined this department for money and glory, but to serve the nation. During this time actually, I made so many cases actually. They are not all shown in the movie. I tell one incident. There was one information that goods are landed and half is gone and half is buried in the newly constructed house foundation. I asked the officers, will go and raid this thing. Then that day I was for patrolling. Then I said, Other officers were not ready to this thing, but one officer came with me. I said, we'll take the rifle also and we'll go. Because I was a very good shooter also. In NCC, I was the best shooter during my NCC time. When we went to the spot, it was already 12 o'clock in the night. And I told the officers and the guard, "Chalo, we'll go now and see." But they refused. They says, "He got the arms, and if he shoot us," I said, "We also got the arms. We can also shoot them." Then they refused. Then I said, "Okay, I'll go alone." And I went alone. And I dig the foundation and found the goods were there. I came back to them. I said, "Okay, let the driver go and get the force and come back." And this officer and the guard says, "No, we are going with the driver and getting the officer and coming. You got the goods." I said, "Okay, no problem." I took the gun and I sat in the property. Guarding, they went 12:30, they went to the office. When they came, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was alone. This type of things, another one case I made like that only, and they came in the 7 o'clock in the morning. When I made that case 12 o'clock. So this type of things, so many happens. But this is our job. We should not derivate from our duty. That was my principles. And those principles till today is giving me support. Actually, I got the President Award also, but I was actually representing India for the Master Athletic Championship in the world. I said I will not go for the President's Award medal, but I will go for my sports medal. And I went to Australia for my sports. This was my passion for this thing, for sports and my department. I never taken a single minute from the department to practice my sports. Until the last, my retirement, I brought the medals for the department. This is my story, and now you will see that this thing, whatever is shown in the movie, these are the real facts and no exaggeration. Thank you for listening carefully. Thank you.
So the pride is all ours. Your experience, your commitment to the ideal of public service, we hope shall serve as an inspiring example for generations to come. Tax administration is a role of precision, one that demands an analytical eye to detail, the ability to decide judiciously, draft succinctly, choosing the apt phrase to strike the reasoned balance between fact and law. An exemplary example of which is the Chief Commissioner of Customs Bengaluru Zone, Shri Ashish Chandan Sir. Sir is an officer of the 1992 batch of the Indian Revenue Service. Sir has served in all wings of the department during his 33-year tenure, including 7 years in DRI and DGGI. Sir is leading the customs zone here in Bengaluru since January 2025. May I now invite Sir to share his insights. Please, Sir.
Dignitaries on the dais, distinguished members of the esteemed gathering, I know you are all eagerly awaiting the screening of the movie, so I will not take much of your time. I want to thank Samprabha for giving me the honor of being with you today on the release of 4 remarkable books, 2 by Mr. V.V. Kumar and 2 by my idol in a sense, and I'll explain why, Mr. Koranpur. Now, while the books, during the unveiling, when I was seeing them, the books by Mr. Kumar will not just fire your imagination, they'll also carry the essence of truth. These books do not appear to be just a collection of stories and ideas. These appear to be a chronicle of the insights, the real life experiences, and the ideas which have been drawn by the author from his very long and very, very distinguished career in government service. Regarding the books which I was able to see, they were heavy books, by the way, and I hope people who read them do justice to them, by Mr. Kodandra. And the reason when I said he's my idol in a way is, I doubt anyone would value digital data protection more than him. Am I right, Mr. Kodandra? So I have followed each and every article written by him in every forum, and I'm sure there is much more to come from him. So the books by Mr. Kodandram are a very welcome addition to the ever-growing repository of GST database. What I could see from the preface was that they reflect the complex reality of how decisions are shaped in the indirect tax landscape. And I could also gather the vision of the author for GST's future, and it appears very, very bold and very practical. So I'll end by just saying that in my previous posting, where I was heading a zonal unit of DRI which had a few international borders, what we all as a team, because in DRI we always work as a team, calling ourselves Team DRI. There was no real individual there. We were confronted very often by what Mark Twain had once said, that truth is stranger than fiction. And the reason for that was that fiction, contrary to what one may believe, has certain rules. It has to follow certain principles. It cannot be allowed to become absurd, irrational. But real life, as we see, has no such rules. The rules are there on paper, but it will have different outcomes, it will have different eventualities. So every time we would take decisions, we were not sure whether it will result in the same outcome which we had experienced in the previous outing. In that sense, the decisions we take in public service as government servants, they're generally split-second decisions. They are very often taken under tremendous pressure. Now these are the decisions, the manner in which we take the decisions, which define our character. And I think nothing exemplifies this thing more than our dear colleague, Mr. Fernandez. And you see that in the movie which is next to come. So I wish all the four books great success, and I thank Samprabha for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this magnificent occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's my privilege now to introduce Shri D.V. Kumar, a very distinguished officer of the service, a name that stands for intellectual discipline, institutional reform, and fearless integrity. Sir is from the 1958 batch of the Indian Revenue Service. He holds a MA Economics and a degree in law. He taught at the Delhi School of Economics before joining the service. Across a career spanning over 3.5 decades, Sir held a succession of pivotal roles that shaped the modern enforcement architecture of the department. He served as Deputy Director, Foreign Exchange Enforcement Directorate, Madras, First Secretary Commercial at the Embassy of India in Kuwait, Commissioner of Customs Appeals in Bombay, and Commissioner of Customs Gujarat before assuming leadership at the national level. As Director General of DRI, Director General of NCB, and Director General of the Economic Intelligence Bureau, he led the department's fight against transnational organized crime, economic offences, and narcotics trafficking. His tenure saw the dismantling of powerful smuggling syndicates and the strengthening of India's intelligence and enforcement framework. The Illustrated Weekly of India, in its October 1987 issue, aptly described him as a super sleuth. He later served as member CBIC and represented India on multiple occasions on the international stage. A prolific scholar and author, Sir has written extensively on law, taxation, financial crime, and governance, producing landmark works such as The NDPS Laws of India, The Darker Side of Black Money, The Underground Economy, DRI and the Dons, and the books released today. His writings blend enforcement experience with conceptual depth, illuminating the moral and institutional dilemmas of governance. Since his retirement in 1992, Sir has continued to contribute to public life as a practicing advocate and as a visiting lecturer at various national institutes. A mentor, a scholar, and a reformer, Sir reminds us that law enforcement at its best is both an intellectual discipline and a moral vocation. May I now invite Sri B.V. Kumar Sir to share his reflections. Please, sir.
Mr. Narayan Swami, President of Samprabha, for organizing this fantastic function where we are all able to meet not only our former officers but persons like Dr. M.S. Salim, who is an intellectual, who is a doctorate in traffic management and other things, and our former chairman, Mr. Najib Shah, Mr. Post Fernandez, Mr. Ashish Chandan, and other dignitaries. I must particularly thank Dr. M.S. Salim, who readily agreed to be the chief guest of today's evening and participate in this book release function. I am most grateful to him. I must also thank Mr. Najib Shah, who right from the beginning was associated with the preparation of my book, Diary in the Dawns, which involved a considerable amount of research before that book could take shape. He not only gave me permission when he was the chairman, and when I suggested chronicling the achievements of the DRL, he not only readily gave me permission but went through the manuscript, and while preparing it, Mr. Shankar, who also was additional director in the DRL, did tremendous amount of drafting. And we had to go through the basic documents like show cause notices, the prosecution's launch, the adjudication orders, the coffee press orders, sometimes the judgments of the High Courts and the Supreme Court, before we could cull out the essence of each one of the cases involving the top smugglers of the country. That's how the whole thing took shape and other things. My second book was not that difficult, but the first book, to make the DRL in the Dawns, was really difficult. If you think of an organization, Mossad was started by Ben Gurion when he was the president of Israel. He just called one of his trusted officers and asked him to start Mossad. With just one or two officers, Mossad was started, and today it's a formidable organization. IB was initially also doing external intelligence apart from maintenance of intelligence gathering within the country and other things. Then it was Mrs. Gandhi who requested R.N. Cow to form the external intelligence service, namely RANW, which started with two persons, Mr. R.N. Rao and Mr. B. Raman, who was posted in the Burma borderland to gather intelligence of what was happening in Burma. In those days, gathering of intelligence was a sort of a, not based upon the present day techniques of gathering intelligence, but based upon very slight amount of leads that were coming and other things. And today RAW is one of the finest organizations. Similarly, DRA also started with one assistant commissioner and two superintendents to cover the whole country, not only for finding out what is happening among the smuggling front, but also on the anti-corruption front. Then over the years, the leadership was provided by various visionaries who was heading the DRA. And today it's a formidable organization which can compare its achievements with any of its peers, either the FBI or the criminal intelligence service of the National Criminal Intelligence Service of the UK, or the RCMP, with whom we had very good relations at one point of time and other things. So the achievements of the DRA can be compared with any of the major intelligence agencies of different countries and things like that. And I started writing articles in my 5th year of service. Then I was posted in Delhi, and that was the easiest way of getting into trouble for a government servant. I wrote an article on the national aviation policy when I was posted at the airport in Delhi in my 5th year of service. Immediately there were questions in Parliament whether I suggested in my article that there should be a international airports authority and also national airports authority to both regulate the national services within the country and the external routes and other things. Immediately there was questions in Parliament, and Mr. Karan Singh, Dr. Karan Singh was the Minister for Civil Aviation, and he had to reply saying we have no such forms, and he thought we are going to have only this same civil aviation organization which will regulate the movement of the traffic of the both national and international airlines. After 3 years, the JRD committee was formed and they suggested exactly what I wrote. But my explanation was called, then somehow they buried it. Then again, when I was posted in the Enforcement Directorate, I wrote an article on black money, the amount of foreign exchange that's outflowing in the country and as things. It became a central page article in the Illustrated Weekly. And I gave a particular estimate of how much of foreign exchange we are losing in the by way of Hawala and other things. Then immediately the entire board jumped on me to find out who the hell you are to give a figure. When we said it's 250 crores, you are saying 2,000 crores. What's your basis and other things? Somehow luckily I had a good policeman who was my boss, Mr. A.K. Ghosh, a very eminent Indian police officer. He said, you don't worry, we prepared the notes. Then it was closed. So an author has to come in contact, particularly if you are in government. Your expression of views is so regulated by the government, you have to take permission at every stage. And I was not taking permission. I was just writing what I felt, and I say what I write is academic and has nothing to do with politics. That's how I managed that. Now coming to the DRA and the dance, the second book was not difficult, but the first book was very difficult. It was, I made 3 visits to Delhi, to the DRA office to get the doses which we prepared over a period of time on the important syndicates and other things. Then when I went there, each time they said, yes, we'll give, but ultimately I found it was not there. All the files were transferred to Bombay, and then myself and Mr. Bhatt, we went to Bombay. One day, Venkatesh Alwan was there, we took his help, and then we found it was all dumped in one godown. Nobody bothered about the wealth of intelligence that was available in these files and other things. Then those were surveyed, then we took out, then so much of files were brought to my office, and myself and Mr. Shankar Bhatt, we went through it, culled out of that the real stories and other things, made the first draft, he made the first draft, I made the second draft, again he would do it, and finally it went to Mr. Rajiv Shah, who vetted it and brought to some shape and other things. And then the book took shape. Then it was sold out, 3 prints were sold out, and I think the department still wanted copies, but the publisher, Konark, was not prepared to publish the book again. I took an objection. It was Mr. Yashpal Puryani who said, you don't bother. In between, I approached Rupan company thinking it will have a wide sales and other thing. They told me that, no, you reduce the book to 250 pages and don't worry about the old dons, you write about the new dons. I said, there are no new dons now. It's only there will be a seizure and then it is closed. We don't find out anybody else who is the real top heading the syndicate and other things. Then ultimately I gave up. Then I approached Yashpal Puryani. He said, you don't worry, it's 450 pages, make it 900 pages. I don't bother. And he also told me, write about the achievements of other agencies like the Enforcement Directorate, the GST Intelligence, the CBI, and others, and the Narcotics Control Bureau and other things. Then he said, you add something more. I said, it will become 1,000 pages. He said, done nothing. Right. So that's how he encouraged me, and that's how the second edition took shape and other things. As far as the DRA in dons are concerned, I found the crime of today is so complicated and so varied in its the type of crimes that is committed, particularly financial frauds, which almost the individuals are suffering, the institutions, particularly financial institutions are suffering, and many times the government also. In one case in USA, just 2 women extracted almost $200 million in the COVID time in USA because the government was giving subsidy and other things. So the government of USA was taken for a cheating of nearly $200. In India, it's very common. A lot of bogus claims of drawback, export incentive, all that is done, where the government is the victim and other things. So coming to the other book which Mr. Kodandaram prepared, I would particularly mention new next generation GST reform 2.0 with latest rules, exemptions with effect from 22nd September 2005. Is included. The latest notification even notified in September 2025. And I went through quickly and I found out it's an excellent manual which is self-contained with all the latest laws, the notifications, the exemptions, everything. For a practicing lawyer or for a chartered accountant or even for the judiciary, it will be extremely useful. And I will particularly commend even the GST tribunal which has constituted. For them it will be extremely useful. I am sure that book will be doing it. Once again, I thank all the others. We are honored by coming here to participate in this function. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was a one-way history of intelligence organizations of the country. So your deep expertise on the subject matter is inspiring to a lot of young officers. Thank you. I now move on to the next guest of honor. It's an honor to introduce Sri Najib Shah, a distinguished officer of the 1979 batch of the Indian Revenue Service. Throughout his 37-year career, Sir held some of the most pivotal assignments. He served in the High Commission of India in Singapore, Commissioner of Customs at Navashira, Joint Secretary Drawback, DG DRI, Member Budget, and as Chairman CBIC. As a special invitee to the GST Council, Sir played a vital role in harmonizing policy, law and systems leading to the enactment and implementation of GST across the nation. He also guided India's engagement with the World Trade Organization's Agreement on Trade Facilitation, championing reforms that modernized customs processes and improved trade efficiency. Under his leadership, the department launched SWIFT, the single window interface for facilitating trade, which significantly reduced dwell time and became a benchmark in trade process simplification. After his superannuation, Sir continues to serve the public sphere with the same commitment to probity and governance. He is presently an independent external monitor appointed by the Central Vigilance Commission, on an invitee to the annual Cambridge University Symposium on Financial Crimes, and a member of the Resource Mobilization Committee of the Government of Karnataka. He also serves on FICCI's think tank on combating illicit trade and as chairman of a mutual fund trustee board. An incisive thinker and a prolific writer, Sir contributes regularly to leading national publications. May I now request Sri Najib Shah, sir, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Thank you very much for your very generous introduction. It is not the CV which I sent, so thank you very much. Dignitaries on the stage, the two authors of today, Mr. B.V. Kumar and Mr. Kodin Raman, the chief guest of today, Dr. Salim, Mr. Narayan Swami, and Samprabha for organizing this wonderful show, Mr. Ashish Tandon, and of course, Costa Fernandez. Dignitaries in the audience. When I joined service, there's one name just told with a lot of awe. I never met the gentleman, but I kept hearing that name. Subsequently, I went to the Enforcement Directorate, and those were the heydays of the department. Raids are being conducted on the captains of industry. And for the first time, the department also realized that evasion of taxes is as bad as pure smuggling. I met then Mr. B.V. Kumar. He was the man behind all these raids against the captains of industry. You could, with the wisdom of hindsight, question whether those decisions were right or wrong, but those are days which brought the department and especially the DRI in the limelight. As was mentioned earlier, he came on the cover of Ministry Weekly, and here was a department which was felt but never seen, very, very visible in the public eye. As director of the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, the DRI scaled new heights. He was dashing, he was savvy, extremely media savvy, and carried an aura. And God bless you, sir, you're still doing it now. And the DRA itself was an organization, like Mr. B.V. Kumar had mentioned, which started off small and today has become a formidable force. In terms of numbers, it is still very small, but in terms of the impact it has on the economy, it is substantial. And this is because of the officers who have been in the department, in the DRA. And I see very many here, Mr. Chaudhary, Mr. Sundaraman, Mr. Ramesh Ramchandra, Shankar Bhatt, about whom mention is there in the book itself, Vasudev, Manivachigam, Vinod Kumar, and others whom I may not have recognized. Arvind, of course, is here, the present officer in charge of the DRA. Ashish also has been in the DRA. The DRA had this unique ability of transforming ordinary officers of the department into heroic figures. That was the ethos of the organization itself, which ensured that they performed more than what is normally expected of any other normal officer. And this has been a journey which I think the DRI is still living up to that reputation. I think we're still doing a great job. So what this book, which Mr. B. Kumar has now written, encapsulates all these qualities of the DRI, and he was most suited to write the book, having served long years in the organization itself. It was my privilege and pleasure to contribute a little to the making of the book itself. I'm sure it will inspire youngsters to know about the activities of the organization, about the challenges which the organization faced. Congratulations to you, Mr. Kodandaraman, for having come out on GST 2.0 so quickly. It is still work in progress, GST 2.0 itself, so you require to revise it very rapidly. We still hear that the benefits of the tax reform has yet to reach the consumers, so I think we need to do a lot more work there, which I'm sure you'll capture in your subsequent books as to how the reforms itself are being executed by all the officers here. So thank you very much for having me here. It's been a great privilege and a pleasure to meet also with so many senior colleagues and friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I now introduce our chief guest of the afternoon, Dr. M.A. Salim, IPS, Director General and Inspector General of Police, Karnataka State, a leader whose career exemplifies discipline, innovation and public service of the highest order. An officer of the 1993 batch of the Indian Police Service, Sir's distinguished tenure in the Karnataka State Police spans more than 3 decades and over 2 dozen assignments across the state. He has served with distinction as Superintendent of Police in Udupi and Hassan, Inspector General of Police Eastern Range, Commissioner of Police Mysore City and Special Commissioner of Police Bengaluru. His responsibilities have ranged across core policing domains from crime and investigation to anti-corruption and administration, culminating in his leadership of the CID and the Anti-Corruption Bureau. Sir has been a pioneer in modern traffic management and community policing in Karnataka. His visionary initiatives, including the Garuda Police Patrol, Safe Routes to School, the automated traffic chalaning system, and Public Eye, a citizen participation platform, have transformed road safety and civic engagement in Bengaluru. His introduction of one-way system across 122 roads and establishments of a special action force in multiple districts reflects his blend of administrative foresight and operational precision. Beyond policing logistics, Sir has led several high-profile special investigative teams probing complex and sensitive cases, from the IMA financial fraud investigation involving 74,000 victims to cryptocurrency hacking, public sector misappropriation cases, among others. For his distinguished service, Sir has been decorated with the President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service in 2017 and the President's Police Medal for Meritorious Service in 2009. He is also a recipient of the National Award for E-Governance for Exemplary Use of ICT, a commendation disc from the Bureau of Police Research and Development, and the prestigious IRTE Prince Michael International Road Safety Award. A scholar practitioner, Sir holds a Masters of Commerce, a Masters of Public Management, and a doctorate in Traffic Management from Bengaluru University. Now, I request Dr. M.A. Salim to deliver the Chief Guest address. Please, sir.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ everyone. Guest of honor of today's book release function, Shri Najib Shah, former chairman CBIC, Shri B.V. Kumar, former member CBIC, Shri Ashish Chandran, Chief Commissioner of Customs Bengaluru, Shri Narayan Swami, President of Samprabha and former Commissioner of GST, living legend Shri Gustavo Fernandez, Shri Kodandram, Shri Puliani, senior retired officers of IRS, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank Shri Narayan Swami, my batchmate, for inviting me here for today's book release function and giving me an opportunity to feel that nostalgic feeling what I have got. Although I am entering this building after 32 years. In fact, 33 years back, I entered this building as my appointment as Inspector in Customs and Central Excise. I still remember that date, 2nd February 1992. Like the same year, Shri B. Kumar retired. That year I joined here, nervous, shy, awkward, you know how the new entrant will be, entering the government job for the first time. But that was the first time I had, because I was transferred to, I was posted to Tungur, then I was not coming here regularly. Then only again I came back in 1993 next year to collect my technical resignation acceptance letter. So that was my 2 visits. After this is my 3rd visit. So thank you, Narayan Swami. Although I was just sitting across this office only for many years, in the sense the traffic management center just across this building, but somehow I missed it. Although I was just seeing with awe the building where which gave me my first salary, my first remuneration, I can say, the department which had given me. So thank you, Narayan Swami, once again, and giving me this opportunity to be present here today among some of my former colleagues are also here, so I can recognize them. Thank you very much. Now coming to today's 4 books which have been released. Although most of these 4 books pertains to the taxation, I can say, particularly GST and other taxes. But the important books, that is the shadow economies, you know, it is not only for the Department of Customs and GST, but also I can say it is a landmark book for all the law enforcement agencies, particularly the criminal investigation department, which I presently heads. I am heading the CID, where we have got an economic offences field, and most of the among the 4 different I can say segments of shadow economies, 3 of us generally we deal, except taxes, all other things, particularly the irregular or parallel economy by prohibition or by the regulations or by the corruption. So these are the 3 areas where generally we focus, particularly the police oriented law enforcement agencies, the CBI, the CID, the NIA and other investigation agencies, including the local or the state police forces also. So this book definitely will go a long way in helping the law enforcement agencies in understanding and also how to combating this menace. Particularly since we deal mostly with offences relating to the wrongful gains or unlawful gains through because of prohibitions or because of corruption. So this will definitely be a guide to most of it. That is why when Mr. Narayan Swami and Shri B.V. Kumar came and we had a meeting with Mr. B.V. Kumar, I readily agreed that it's not only for indirect taxes units, but also definitely to suit the law enforcement agencies, particularly the CID. So thank you very much, sir, and for writing this book. And definitely will see to it that these books will be shared with, for all our police officers also, particularly officers who are working in economic offences field. Since other books, Mr. Kodandram, what has written on GST laws and others, may not be done directly, may not be for police officers, but definitely for officers who are now working in the customs and GST, and also practitioners and others, as Shri Rajiv Shah has mentioned, will definitely help them to guide and also to have better perspective while dealing with these issues, so that the revenues of the government is protected, and to a large extent the economic growth, and also to a large extent you will see that the pilferages and other things will be plugged in the bit. So So I will not take much of the time, and I once again thank Samprabha and Shindaran Sami for inviting me, because since you are all waiting for the movie, to see the movie on Shri Kosala Fernandez, sir, I have heard about you a lot, sir, and in fact I was eager to see the movie also. But since because of the time constraints, I will be seeing the movie in my home itself. And definitely, my best wishes to you, sir, for particularly since a sportsman doing such a great job in an organization which is, I can say, known for steadfast working. And also, since it is my previous department, also definitely I feel proud of you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Samprabha expresses its gratitude to all the dignitaries for gracing the occasion and making it a memorable one. As a token of gratitude, we wish to offer to the dignitaries mementos from our side. I now request the President of Samprabha, Narayan Somi sir, Secretary Shri Vijay Bellari, and Treasurer Shri Ashok Kanchipe to present mementos to the dignitaries. The coffee table book that is being presented is Harambi, which documents the efforts of the association during the COVID pandemic. The Puliani group also wishes to provide to the guests a collector's edition of the Constitution of India. Thank you. I now invite Dr. S. Somanna IRS, Vice President of Samprabha, to propose vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, the movie screening follows after vote of thanks.
Hello, Namaskara. Good evening to all. It is rather hectic and eventful day for Samprabha family. But still I can see the energy and the enthusiasm and also excitement to see the movie Gustavo. So I am actually honored and privileged to extend the vote of thanks on behalf of the Samprabha family. And I am very, very happy and excited. I am with the ocean of legends, icons, and especially Bhishma Pitamaha, our department, V. Kumar sir. And actually, when we approached the chief guest, even with hectic and busy schedule in the police department, Salim sir agreed, readily agreed, and we are here honored and sir, very heartfelt thanks from the Samprabha family. Thank you for being part of the Samprabha family. Secondly, Najib Shah sir, I was and during COVID time, I used to remember sir used to give me a call and request for coordination and all those things. Once or twice I met him. I used to be excited to see, the energy and enthusiasm with Najib Shah sir, and sir is with us, and I'm very happy to see sir once again in the active this forum of I'm part of our Samprabha family. Thank you very much, sir. And when Customs Chief Commissioner sir, and we called that sir, please be part of, even though it's an holiday, but we request sir to be part of our book release and part of the Samprabha family's celebrations. Sir readily agreed and he is with us, and thank you very much, sir. About already I told that Bhishma Pitamaha, our department. So I was just keep on hearing P. Kumar sir's name with the Narayan Swami sir. He regularly used to tell, like Somana is our like whenever we call, whenever he is financially, intellectually, or like motivation the way. But I thought that sir is not that old. When sir told that he is retired in 1992, sir, I got surprised. Sir, I think Narayan Swami sir joined, and I think that time sir retired. So I am very happy and excited to see you, sir, because I never expected sir is such an aged person. I mean, like by chronologically, but not by energy, but not by enthusiasm. Still, I can feel your energy, I can feel your enthusiasm, and I definitely mesmerized with your the ocean of depth of knowledge, depth of ocean of this one, and your presentation skills in the book. Sir, I am really thankful, and we are the Samprabha is very honored to have you with us, sir, and physically. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
And our Chief Commissioner Madam was supposed to come because of some busy schedule and this one, so Madam is not with us. But we always, our Nine Service are always tell that Madam is a constant force of support to us for conducting activity, conducting this one, and requesting busy staff for participation. I extend our heartfelt thanks to Madam for continued support in her absence. So thanks for the GST entire zone. And I see that I already told that energy and enthusiasm already, and most of us, like I can see so many senior officers who are there with us, and they took out time and they are with us and sharing the happy moment and that excited enlightened moment of seeing the screening of the movie. And I extend heartfelt and bottom of my heart and on behalf of the Samprabha family to all the officers and their families and retired and serving officers, that heartfelt thanks from the Samprabha family. And I take this opportunity and to extend that income tax department that they have given us this premises and for hosting this wonderful evening. I extend them heartfelt thanks. And finally, I extend like organizers, without that army of support. So we do this wonderful function, energy filled and motivated and excited function would not have been possible. I extend all the organizers who are part of this organizing function, or from the on the dais and off the dais and as behind the screen. So all of them I extend heartfelt thanks from the Samprabha family, and I wish a wonderful time. And I expect that the same enthusiasm and excitement during the post hour, and I expect all of you to without fail please watch the movie post hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone. I now request the dignitaries. I now request the dignitaries to please occupy